Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the bushings on an upper control arm. So let's get started. A few things that you're going to need. You're going to need the bushing extractor. And you can rent these from the auto store. This particular one I got at Advanced Auto, and this can pretty much remove it and install the new one. You'll need a wrench in order to be able to rotate this part here in order to be able to create the tension on that. You'll need a set of replacement bushings. These here I picked up at Advanced Auto. I believe they were $26.99, but they're fairly inexpensive. It's a lot cheaper than replacing the entire upper control arm. These things can run anywhere from $85 to over $100. You'll need some penetrating oil, and you'll need some gloves, and then obviously you'll need the old upper control arm, since we're going to use that since this one's intact, just the bushings are bad. And those are the components that you'll need to be able to complete this task. Now here is the upper control arm, and as you can see here with these bushings, these are in bad shape. Everything is just ripped up, deteriorated. These things are literally just falling out. This one here too, also in very bad shape, you can see here. So definitely in need of being replacing. So let's go ahead and get everything set up so we can push them out. Now before we get started, this upper control arm that we're going to be working on, this was taken out of a 2003 Chevy Trailblazer 5.3 liter V8. So if you're trying to replace the entire control arm on a Chevy Trailblazer, I replaced one in a video that was released several months back. You can see that via the link shown above, and that'll show you the steps on doing the control arm itself. Before we start, one thing to keep in mind, you'll notice right here, there's a metal lip right here around this bushing on this side. If we take a look at the other side, it does not have it. So as we're pushing it out, you're going to want to be pushing it in this direction, so that way the side with the lip is actually coming out, because it won't be able to go that way obviously, because it's going to hit that frame. So we're going to be pushing out from this side to pop it out on this direction here. Alright, what I'm going to do is go ahead and soak this with some penetrating oil. Let it sink in here. Especially when you're dealing with something that's been rusted and sitting on there a while, it's good to just hit it with that. Go ahead and let that sink in. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick the components that we're going to be needing. Depending on the control arm that you're working with, different attachments would be needed. Obviously, we're always going to need this. We'll need that. We're going to need this because I'm going to show you soon why we need this one here, and then we have this component here which actually slides into there, so that way this can then lock in there and push that down. So we need that, and then I'm going to need this adapter here as well, and I'll show you how these all go together. Alright, so here is the bushing that has to be pushed out. We're going to take this end here, and as I mentioned, once we screw that through, this will connect here, pushing that down. But we're going to go ahead and put this adapter inside of it. See how that locks? And basically this inner ring right here will match up here on the back side right here. That ring is pretty much this inner opening right there. And we're going to line them up right on there. And just to get a close up here, you'll see this diameter here, that matches this inner diameter of this opening where the bushing is. So when you put it on, see if I can get a good shot of it here. That needs to basically line up right on the inside of that opening to then push that bushing completely through. So we're going to feed this part through, screw that all the way in. And I'll show you how this is all going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put this through. Then I'll attach all this, we'll get it onto the bushing, and then I'll be right back to show you how it looks once it's all in place. Alright, so everything's in place, and this kind of shows you how it should go on. So you have this piece here where we're going to tighten, which is going to be pushing the bushing out this way, because on this side is where you have the lip. Now, this part here of this clamp right here has an opening, and this opening goes right around that lip, so that way that can still slide through. It's not blocking it. I'll see if I can get a better, there you go. You can kind of see in there how it is. It wraps around it, but it still has clearance. And then on this side here, we have this piece here, and then that adapter that we put in. And you can see here on the adapter, this inner piece here is just going just inside that opening, so it's just enough to push the bushing through, but still clear that opening and feed it all the way through. So that's basically how you want to have it all set up. And then now we can get ready to start tightening it and pushing that out. Okay, so now we're ready to start tightening it. And if you are using this, the power built that you can rent at Advance Auto, you're going to need a 22mm wrench, or if you have an impact wrench, whatever you want to use. But basically, that's what you're going to need to tighten it. So we'll just go ahead and put that on there and just take our time tightening it. And eventually, it's going to go ahead and push that through. You may have to stop in the middle and add a little more penetrating oil if you're running into issues with it. Hear that? Starting to break the seal. The bushing should start coming through. You can see there the bushing has been pushed out there from the inner side, but there's a lot of rust things holding it up in there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a little more penetrating oil, let that sink in, and then we'll continue. Okay, so put some penetrating oil on there. We're going to go ahead and take this off, take a look at it, because it looks like it was already pushed through, but it might just be on the outer, still caught up on the outer side. So let's take a look at it. Remove all of this. All right. Oh, there we go. It's out. Okay, this is ready to go. Went ahead and cleaned in there since there was some debris, so that's ready. Let's go ahead and get the new bushings out. And basically, these are going to go in the same way that the other ones came out, with the lip being on the outside. So we'll get those in, and I'll show you how to push the new ones in, and we'll wrap this up. Now, for putting in the new bushings, you're going to want to use these attachments here. So basically, just take your bushing, find the one that is going to go around it. You don't want it pushing on the rubber, so it needs to be hitting here on the edge. So that one there obviously is too small. When I put it on, you don't even really hear it hitting the metal because it's all hitting here on the rubber. See if I can get a close up in there for you. You can see it right there. It's not even meeting. You definitely don't want to do that because you don't want to damage the rubber part. This one here looks perfect. It's right on the edge, but it's wide enough that it's cutting in here, so it's not going to bend that, and I'll get a close-up of that for you. You can see here, here's the edge here. That goes right up on it, and then as you're looking into it, you can see right there, it's not on the rubber, but it's catching right on the edge. That's how you want it to be, just like that. Okay, so we're getting ready to put the new bushing in. So that just pretty much slides right in place. Now what we're going to do with the extractor now to be able to push the new one in is you're going to take the same piece that we used before with the adapter in here, but now that ring that we fitted onto the lip, that slides inside. So basically this is going to go like that. It'll connect in here and go on like that. And as far as on this side, we'll just use this opening here for the clearance. So let me go ahead and set it all up, and we'll be right back to show you how it looks all together. So here's everything connected. We have this here pressing right up against here, that ring right on the lip here of the bushing to go through. And then coming here on the other side, we have that opening giving clearance for the back side of the bushing to be pushed all the way through. So with that all set up, let's start tightening it up and pop that through so we can wrap this up. Okay, as you can see here, everything is in nice and tight. Going through here on the other end, it looks great. Alright, well that pretty much wraps it up. I went ahead and put the other side in, so we're getting ready to put this back onto the vehicle. I hope this video helped you out. Please send me any questions, any comments. As always, I appreciate all of the support. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.